All right, everyone. One of my favorite TV shows as a young child there. If your parents are listening, maybe they recognize the A Team. Anyway, so separate story there. So lesson number 7 here. What we are after is your ability to use a different technique. Okay, the tape diagrams are nice. It labels things visually for it there, but let's be honest, it can be a little bit time consuming. So what we're looking at here is using what we refer to as the standard algorithm, which just means a more mathematical approach to it, non-throw using pictures, and just more of a setup process that we're using. So here's how it works. You're going to make ratios, but you're not going to use a tape diagram. You're going to make them as fractions. And the other important thing is you need to label what they're standing for. So it's kind of similar from that standpoint, just no boxes. So to make orange paint, use 2 gallons of yellow for every 5 gallons of red. Okay, so that gives me my ratio. So I'm going to write that on down there as a fraction. So it's a 2 to 5 ratio. 2 what though? Well, 2 gallons of yellow. 5 what? Oh, 5 gallons of red. So when I look at what else I've been given, I'm going to use an equal sign because I want to create an equivalent ratio. It says how much red paint. All right, so this is what I'm trying to figure out down there. How much red paint will you need if you use 6 gallons of yellow? Well, okay, so we put the yellow was up in the numerator, so the yellow has to stay up in the numerator. Now all we're going to do is solve to make an equivalent ratio. So look at the two numbers across from each other. I always start with the smaller one. What do you multiply by 2 to get to 6? Well, you multiply times 3. So guess what you multiply down here by? Yes, you're correct if you said 3 and you got 15. So we can't leave our answer like this because, well, we haven't answered the question. How much red paint will you need? Well, how much red will I use? I will need 15 gallons of red paint. All right, and that's it. No boxes to draw out. None of that. And when we kind of look at the two, you'll see the separation between them there. But again, much more efficient, kind of a much faster approach there. Okay, so to make fruit punch, use 2 cups of grape juice for every 3 cups of apple juice. Okay, so again, there's my ratio. So it's a ratio of 2 to 3. To what? 2 cups of, oh, grape juice. Okay, and then 3 cups of what? Oh, apple juice. All right. So now it says you already have 12 cups of apple juice. So when I look at my ratio, all right, the 12 is going to go with the apple juice. So it's going to go down in the denominator. So it's not like you always put the number up top, you always put the number down below. You've got to see what they've given you. We want to know how many cups of grape juice will you need to make fruit punch. So how much grape? Well, let's figure out. Start with the two numbers across from each other. And what do you multiply by? Well, we're going to multiply by 4. So let's do that up here. 2 times 4, that gives me 8. So I'm going to need 8 cups of grape juice. All right. What are you thinking, people? What are you thinking here? Huh? We liking this? We like where this is going. The main thing to keep in mind is your labeling, because that's where things are going to kind of, I don't want to say separate from each other, but that's what we have to kind of watch for. All right. So the last one, this section, for every 10 chickens, there are 6 cows. All right. So what? No, I said chickens. Where are the chickens? Cows? That's anyway. So 10 to 6. 10 comes first, 6 comes second. 10 what? 10 chickens, 6 what? Okay, now wait. I don't want to do this. So I'm going to do a CH for a chicken. I'll do a CO for my cow. All right. And now they've told me there are 54 cows. So where's the 54 going to go? Yep, it's going to go down with the cows. So start with the two numbers across from each other. 6 times what is 54? Well, it's 9. So 10 times 9, 90. So we got 90 chickens that are running around. All right. So those are just straight up setup ones for it there. Very nice, very clean. The issue with these guys is moving forward now, these are the total ones. The problem with the total ones is students don't like to stop and analyze. I know, shocking, all right, that you don't like to look at something and kind of make sure that it makes sense before you just throw an answer down, all right? All right, yeah, I know, yeah, that's not a good thing at all. So here's how this guy works. It does say the ratio of boys to girls is 4 to 5. Okay, so 4 to 5. All right, 4 what? Oh, 4 boys. 5 what? 5 girls. Now here's where it becomes interesting. They say there's a total of 90 boys and girls. A total of 90 boys and girls. Well, the 90. Does the 90 go with the boys? No. Does the 90 go with the girls? No. It's got to go with boys and girls. So I can't use this original ratio. But what I can do is I can use the original ratio to help me solve. So here we go. I know we've given me information about total. All right. So I've got a total of 90. And they want to know how many girls. So I know I have to talk about girls. So when there's 90 boys and girls, do I know how many girls there are? No, I don't. But if I go back to my original ratio, what's your total? Well, if there's 4 boys and 5 girls, your total is 9. And if you go back to your original ratio, how many girls were there? 5. Ooh, now we've set up our ratio and we can solve for it. So you do need to really watch for what they're asking you for. And you might have to, when you write down the ratio, actually go, wait, I can't use this. I need to use the information that they're giving me, and they're talking about total here. So start with the smaller number going to the bigger number. So we'll times it by 10. So guess what happens when you multiply 5 times 10? Yep, we get 50. So we've got 50 girls there. All right. So again, a little extra wrinkle into that. So we do need to watch for it. So it can kind of, make it a little bit interesting. In problems like this, you might go, whoa. I'm going back to the tape diagram. I need to use it there. And that's fine. Like I said, different techniques. All right, so we got the ratio of Skittles to Starburst. All right, 6 to 7. So I've got Skittles, I've got Starburst, and it's 6 to 7. They say there's a total of 65 pieces of candy. All right, so again, total, so the 65, no, there's not 65 Skittles. No, there's not 65 Starbursts. There's a total of that amount. So I know I need to have a ratio that involves total, and they want to know how many Starbursts that there are. So I'm going to have to use my Starbursts. So when I set up my ratio, all right, how many total are there? Well, there was 65 of them. How many Starbursts were there? Well, I don't know. So now I'm going to go to my original ratio. All right, how many total were there? Well, 6 Skittles, 7 Starbursts. So it's a total of 13. All right, and then how many Starbursts were there? Oh, yep, there it is. There was 7. Now we can solve. All right. Now, if you're not sure what to multiply 13 by to get to 65, that's okay. What will you type into the calculator, though? Not a multiplication problem. It's going to be it's going to be a division problem there. All right. Oh, there's the chicken. Yeah, a little late there, buddy. 65 divided by 13. Yeah, that's going to give you 5. So in other words, you'd have to multiply 13 times 5 to get to 65. So we need to multiply the 7 times 5, and you will get 35. So it is 35 Starbursts. All right. So again, watch what they're asking for. Total is a key word. So when you see that word total, that is something that you definitely might want to circle. That way you kind of like, something's going on here. All right, so let's see. We got the ratio of cats to dogs is 6 to, good timing there, cat. All right, 6 to 2. All right, so I've got myself a 6 to 2, and 6 came first, and the dogs came first. So I got 6 dogs to my 2 cats I'm dealing with here. They say there's a total of 40 dogs and cats. Okay. Oh my, what just happened there? All right, let's see here. 6 to 2, dogs to cats. All right. So a total of 40 dogs and cats. 40 dogs? No. 40 cats? No. All right, so this is when I got to know I have to rewrite. So I have to involve total because they've given me total, and I want to know how many dogs there are. So I'm going to need dogs. All right. So there are a total of 40 dogs and cats. I don't know how many dogs that there are, but in my original ratio, I know there's a total of 8. 6 plus 2 is 8. And then how many dogs were there? Well, there were not 2. Oh, 6 of them. There we go. Now I'm ready to solve. Find the 2 numbers that are across from each other. I always start with the smaller one to get to the larger one because that way it would be a multiplication problem. And yes, 8 times 5 is 40. So let's multiply times 5. 6 times 5, that does give us 30. So we got 30 dogs. All right. So that does end up working out there. So again, we do need to watch for labeling. And I know you're probably thinking, my gosh, how many times is he going to say that? Well, we're going to say it a lot. All right. Let's look at the more problems. All right, let's look at the more problems we've got here. So the ratio of the number of trucks to cars is 2 to 7. Okay, so all right, 2 to 7, trucks to cars. So trucks to cars. There are 630 more cars. All right, 630 more cars. So does that mean there's 630 trucks? No. Does that mean there's 630 cars? No. There are 630 more cars. So I need one of them to be more cars. And the other thing they want to know about is, oh, they want to know how many trucks that there are. All right. So how many more cars were there? Well, there were 630 more cars. Okay, I don't know how many trucks there were. That's what they're asking for. But now I can go back and I can use my original ratio. All right. How many more cars were there in the ratio? Well, if there's 2 for trucks, 7 for cars, it's a subtraction problem. All right. There's 5 more. 7 minus 2 is 5. Or if you just want to count up, you can do that as well. All right. How many trucks were there in the original ratio? There were 2. Okay, now we solve. So yep, we're going to do a multiplication problem. Now again, if you don't know off the top of your head how many times 5 goes into 630, and I'll be honest, I have to kind of think about that for a second. Break out the calculator. Type in 630 and divide it by 5. All right. I believe you should get 126. All right. Let me say the 0, carry the 3, 15 and 3. Oh, do you agree with that? Well, you should agree with that. Yeah, that's good. All right. So, what's my answer here? There are how many trucks are there? Are there 2? No. That's over 126. We had 126 trucks. That 2 trucks is dealt with the original ratio that we're after. All right. Let's see what we got here. We got the ratio of Michelle's money to Anna's money is 4 to 9. So 4 to 9, and we got Michelle's money to Anna's money. All right. Anna has $60 more. Okay. So is there does Michelle have $60? No. Does Anna have $60? No. She has $60 more. Okay, so I need a more dollars approach. All right. And then they also want what? They want to know how much money does Michelle have. Okay. I'm going to put out Michelle here because if I don't, I'm thinking M might stand for money, and that might throw me off a little bit. All right. Hey, you might think that's a little silly, but labeling wise, that's going to help me out. Okay, so Ann has $60 more, so more dollars. There's our 60. I don't know how much Michelle has, so that's the part I'm going to solving for. Let's see over here, go back to my original ratio. How much more money does Anna have than Michelle? Well, Michelle's got 4, Anna's got 9, she's got 5 more. Again, subtraction problem. 9 minus 4 does give me 5. And then lastly there, how much money does Michelle have? Well, Michelle had 4. There it is. Now we can solve. All right. What are you going to multiply 5 by to get to 60? Well, remember, if you don't know off the top of your head, you do a division problem. All right. It is 12, though. All right. 5 times 12 does give me 60. If you do 60 divided by 5, yeah, 12 is going to show up. So now I know what to multiply by down here. 4 times 12 gives me 48. So I do end up having 48 more dollars. All right. She's going to have 20 more dollars there. There we go. Okay, so big thing we got to watch for here is your labeling. All right, keywords, more. All right, total, which we saw with our visuals we had to watch for. We just got to watch them if we choose to use the ratio section here. Now again, some of you when you take the test are gonna be like, no, give me the visuals. My goodness, that makes sense when I see it. Whereas others of you are going to like this ratio because that's the way your mind works. You can kind of see that a little bit better there. All right. Oops, I gotta go, people. We'll see you later.